Hello, and welcome back to the Empires Summit. I am so excited to introduce our next speaker for you, waiting in the wings. We have the beautiful Salvija Raccione. Now, Salvija is the founder of the Body Map Method. She is a clinical hypnotherapist, an abuse expert, and mind programmer. Born into extreme abuse in Lithuania, she rebuilt her life in London and healed deep traumas. Now she helps visionaries break free from limitations with bold OBS transformation. Known as the most liberating person, her philosophy is simple. If it limits you, it is not welcome. She's a lover of animals, potatoes, caviar, and champagne, a woman of my own heart. Salvija, please do take the floor.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm so glad to be here and just sharing with you my story and a little bit different angle that you actually hear everywhere. So, as Claire introduced me, my name is Salvija and I am obsessed with mind. I'm obsessed with how we as human beings are thinking, performing, how our body reacts to it. And so my journey started when I was in Lithuania and was looking just a well-paid job. And I ended up in IT. IT was at that point paying the biggest salaries. You didn't have to do university and everything. It was a score for me. And after a few years, I got opportunity to open my own company. And it was absolutely amazing. It came out of nowhere, boomed very quickly. It was so successful that it made in around 2 years 300,000 in revenue, which for a person coming from a very small town, it was like, holy shit, that is serious. By that time, I got interested into deeper things, as I call them, helping people leaving abuse, supporting them in that journey. But the only thing I really wasn't good at is helping them with their trauma. So at that point, I got invitation to train in hypnotherapy, rapid transformational therapy, and for me, it was like, oh, I'm gonna open another business because I'm that businesswoman at this point. So I opened Salvia Coaching and Therapy, and it was for some time a side hustle. I didn't know what it's going to be. I was still going through the training. My identity wasn't formed. While in IT, I was so successful. I was highly respected. Like I had multi-billion clients depending on me and even getting like panicky if I go on holidays. Massive thing, right? For ego. But then I thought, you know what? I'm ready to take a leap. I'm ready to go into the coaching and therapy business. I'm ready to be a next big deal. And I was seeing people at that point making 60,000 months, 100,000 months, a million a month. And I was like, oh my God, wow, I can be that thing. I can go in and smash it and be absolutely fucking amazing. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start winding off the AT side and I'm going to go in. I'm going to be like, start with 10K months and just be like, I don't know, another trailblazer. So the shift happened. I left the IT world and I fully emerged into coaching and therapy. And you're probably expecting me telling you how rose tinted journey was like rainbows and everything is sparkling and I made the 50K. No, I didn't. The business flopped. I was barely making any money in the beginning and I was like, what the hell? What the hell just happened? And I can't tell you how those stories of coaches keep going. Oh, I made this amount of money this month. Oh, I made this. Oh, I'm sleeping and making money. Started triggering the hell out of me. I really started hating the whole industry. I started hating on myself. I started doubting myself. And I thought, oh my God, is this really going to work? Have I missed something? Like, did these people forgot to share some story that I was kind of like blindly going into something? So there was a massive shame and guilt party basically happening in my head and in my body. It wasn't fun. It was really triggering. And at that point, I was really thinking to quit. I was like, oh my God, I made a mistake. I left successful career. I left reputation basically just lying there, which made me money and going into something new. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And I can tell you, you have been there. Like, we all been there. We all felt that we made a mistake with the business. We all felt like we missed something. We all felt that something is going off. And now I'm just inviting you to check in with yourself, and you're probably going to be like, yeah, I get you. I get what you're on. Because it's a very open and raw journey that we as business owners go through. And I can tell you, I probably had that in IT business side, but I wasn't that sensitive because I had a reputation. In here, I was basically starting as a chicken nugget. You have to build a reputation. Hi, hello. And this whole experience started to really affect me. I wasn't happy. I was really questioning things. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to use my body map method. I'm going to go into my body and understand what is going on, what is truly happening inside of me, because my head was a pity party tornado. My ego was all over the place. And I'm the person who've done a lot of work on myself. I gone to the retreats, I've done loads of therapy, I've done a lot of spiritual healing, not necessarily called therapy. And I was really feeling good and grounded with myself. But this shook me. And I think it's a really great reminder for all of us that challenges in our life can shake us. None of us is immune to anything. So, and right now, I want to invite you to experience the body map method for a second. So, this is what I've done. I sat down and I closed my eyes and I really dropped into my body and I thought, what am I feeling? And the first couple of thoughts came guilt and shame. Okay. So I was like, how does the shame feels in my body? What are the sensations? And where exactly does it feel? And I just gave myself a second to be in that moment. And I instantly started to feel that shame was like somebody was choking me on the throat. It was like really tight, and I was even like grasping for the air. And my whole chest and abs were really tense. My palms more sweaty. And I was like, okay, so I'm feeling shame. Okay. Then I thought, okay, guilt. How does the guilt feel in my body? And it was instantly, I felt sick in my stomach. I felt like I wanted to vomit. I'm not going to vomit, but it felt like I wanted to vomit. And it just felt like so heavy in my whole body, like something is just tying chains on me and just weighting me down. And I was like, wow, this is deep. This shit gone really deep. And then I realized that the shame was based on that I put the expectations on myself. I put the expectation on make it everything happen quickly. A month, a two, a three, like I'm gonna make 500,000 in 6 months. And I was like, well, hold on a second. What am I trying to do here? Am I trying to do a cowboy show that like, oh, everybody look at me, I'm making this amount of money every month? Or I'm actually want to build a business that has legacy and longevity that actually might take time. Ooh, and that take time hit me right deep into the stomach because I'm a person who doesn't deal well with the patience. I trained myself, I'm much better at this point, but I'm still very much into like, I need to have it now. I wanted it yesterday. Yesterday would be the best. If somebody tells me there's going to be a longer journey, I'm like, oh, how can I cut the corners? So that is my not very great trait. So I've gone through the emotional scanning, understood what the hell is going on. And then I just gone into the grounding, looking into the people I basically look up to or the companies that done really, really well. And I'm not talking about their ethics. I'm not talking about their founders being amazing people. I'm talking just about in general how they ran. It took time. It took the whole damn village to come in and make this happen. That means hiring people. It took time. It took thinking out of the box. It took going through the challenges and not giving up. And again, that comes to it takes time. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to take time, 10 years or something, but it might not mean that it's going to be 6 months. So that was a bit of a hard pill to swallow for me. And when I looked into my IT journey, I was like, bitch, why are you crying? You had experience in IT for around 8 years before you were offered to embark on the company journey and open your own company and really start signing up big contracts. And I'm like, yeah, if I'm looking in that way, it all makes sense. That's why it was so easy to open the company and start nailing contracts instantly and making massive profits. While in here, I didn't have any groundwork done. I was very newish in this. And I know there is so much in spirituality world that like, no, you can collapse time and everything. You absolutely can. but it doesn't mean like it's going to happen instantly. And for me, I had to reframe it that it doesn't mean it's failure. It doesn't mean that I'm worse than anybody else. It doesn't mean I'm less than anybody else. It just means that my journey might be a bit different than what we're seeing flashing in social media. And that's absolutely okay. And how do I make this journey to benefit me in growing my company? And since I'm also coming into abuse, domestic abuse, corporate abuse, manipulation, all of these areas, if you notice, it's not so widely discussed on social media. So I was like, my strategy even has to change. I have to find new areas because I was keep posting again and again and again on social media until I'm choking out of not having to say anything, and it wasn't getting that great results. So I was like, shit, how come for other people it works, for me it doesn't? And for me, it will always by changing the strategy, understanding what works for me. So I had to become really honest with myself, understand what things trigger me, unfollowing people, unfollowing groups, leaving groups, cutting out memberships that do not really serve me. Because sometimes being in the big rooms, it can be beneficial to you, but it can be triggering. And if it is triggering in the bad way, you might be going backwards than forwards. And this is what I sometimes feel we as a business owners, especially solopreneurs, not really taking into the consideration, what the hell are we doing? Because if we look at the online space, solopreneur, I can do everything. I can be accountant, I can be a coach, I can be a therapist, I can be a marketing expert, I can be a salesperson. But the one conclusion I came to is like, I'm not good at all of these things. I'm good at some of these things. And other things, I really suck at them. I really suck at them. So I had to admit that I'm really kind of a shit at marketing and sales. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't sell anything or I'm bad representing myself. No, I absolutely made sales by selling myself. This is not where my drive is. This is not where I'm passionate. So I decided to go and look for experts who can support me and not just do another damn program, which I'm going to absolutely hate later on, but actually getting support for me, who can do marketing for me, who can do sales for me, who can grow, who can help me to expand my company and actually feel sustainable. Not just a cowboy show for one night, like whippy, and then we don't know what the fuck we're doing the rest. So this story is a little bit different. I don't share off like booming success overnight. I'm actually sharing off slow growth. And within 2 months, when I committed to my business, I had most sales in my business. Within another 2 months, I had 10K sales in my business. And for me, that was actually fast growth. And I was like, yeah, shit, we're getting there. And you're not going to see me so loudly shouting about this on social media. Why? Because I'm aiming for sustainability. I will share the wins, absolutely. But for me, it's like, what's next? What are we doing next? This milestone is great. Let's celebrate. Let's acknowledge it. Let's allow it to land. What's next? I'm always growing and expanding in that way. So for me, my business model has to suit me. I'm not the person who type all day on social media and like keep going with the wins and popping them out and fingers crossed the client's gonna sign up. It's just not me. I had to admit that that narrative doesn't suit me. And if people like, there are people who absolutely love doing this way and it works for them, it works for their business, nothing wrong with that. Go ahead and do it. But for my personality, it absolutely didn't work. I hated it. So I had to find other ways how to do it, which I went into in-person marketing. I joined the groups who offer more deep connection to speak with people. And then I started joining bigger projects, exploring charities, exploring working with big companies and making bigger projects because I thrive on big projects. I don't thrive just with one-off sales. I thrive on projects. That was another thing to realize about myself. And I find going through the guilt and shame, and if I allow my whole mind to go into this, oh my God, we failed, this was shit, this was a mistake situation, I would have absolutely quit. I would absolutely burn everything down, gone back to something that I know familiar is, and be like, you know what, that was a mistake. But actually, leading through my body, I was able to cancel the whole mind's noise and really look into myself as like, what the hell are we doing here? What is going on? So that was really helpful for me. And I think a lot of people just like go into the mind, and especially if you go on social media comparing yourself with other people, it can be really triggering, especially for your mind and your ego. Let's be honest, even if you don't have a business, we all know what the damn comparison is, don't we? So I'm really glad I tapped into my body and understanding really deeply what it means to me. And then I started building my, support village, people who are around me, understanding my journey, understanding where I go through, and they're really being there to support me the way I want to walk the journey, instead of, I think if you do this, this might change this and it could be better, instead of trying to fix me or to mold me into their way. Because I also had these people around me and that wasn't really helpful. So, looking into every aspect and being really honest with yourself actually can propel your business into success. Slow business growth and slow start doesn't mean it's a failure. It doesn't mean that you're broken. It doesn't mean that you didn't get something didn't click. It doesn't mean that you need another program, another coach, or another something to grow your business. You might actually need to sit down with yourself and tap into your body and understand what the hell is going on. Because your body tells you everything instantly, while your mind lags around 3 days. And if you have a whole damn chaos in your head, it might lag even for weeks and months. And we all know how that shit ends. So I'm inviting you today to have a look into your journey and where do you feel shame and guilt? And the thing that we just done with the closed eyes, you can do exactly the same thing with any emotion and see where your body is trying to communicate with you. Where is it trying to tell you that, like, hey, what is going on? Why are we keep doing this when it actually doesn't quite benefit us? How about we go do something different? Like for me, I had so many times quitting social media, and I'm coming to some level of quitting social media. And I can tell you my business is growing faster than me sitting and pumping the posts. So that is not really something you're going to hear every day and people telling you. So it's really all depends to you. So my invitation today to you is, where do you feel the shame and where do you feel the guilt? And where do you allow the shame and guilt to limit you of having the business that you desire, the relationship that you desire, the health that you desire, or anything else? Where does it stop you? Where does it limit you? And how you can change that. But go through your body, don't go through the mind, because the ego is going to kick in and we're going to have the whole diva situation at that point. I hope that today the I shared was really beneficial. I know it's been very different because I've had a lot of conversations and talks and everything, and everybody shares super successful stories. Mine is success, but it started as a flop. So if you are in any similar situation, keep going, lead through your body, and absolutely just ignore the outside noise. Trust yourself. Thank you for listening.
Salvia, that was amazing. And I know you guys watching, if you're anything like me, we were sat there like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And also the media, that sounds scary, right?
I
Like
know.
to so many of us watching, we're like, how would I even get clients? How would I even show myself and become visible? What would you say to someone who has that in their mind right now, Salvia? Maybe they are caught in that comparison, container of the online space, and they're like, I want to kind of step back a bit, but also this is how I've been taught to grow a business. What's your advice to someone who's in that place right now?
So I'm a very jump off the cliff person. So if I try something that was advised to me and it doesn't work, I'm gonna be like, fuck it, I'm going other way. And majority of the time that was way more successful. Sometimes what happens when we don't know how to do something, let's say how to do marketing or sell online, it's normal for us to go get a program and try it. But if you keep trying it and nothing is working, then you need to readjust your strategy. Because like if you keep doing what you're doing and expect different results, that is not going to happen. I mean, if you eating eggs every day and expect to have fruit, it's not really working, isn't it? You have to get the fruit then. So it's like same in the business. And I feel right now so many people are battling social media. They're like, oh, the visibility is shit. Oh, they change algorithm again. And for me, it's like, for the whole year, I really wanted to quit social media, and everybody's like, don't be crazy, don't make these radical decisions. Like, oh my God, no, but you still can sell through the social media. And right now I'm coming to the point like, fuck it, no. I'm going to still have my accounts active, but I'm building the retirement of social media plan, directing people into my page, directing people into probably my podcast, because there's a thoughts about the podcast, directing where they can connect with me and work with me. Because I can tell you that majority of my clients didn't come from social media. Actually, around 90% of them came just meeting me or referrals and really being in that zone. And right now, me going into the corporates and actually bringing the game changing approach of how to stop the burnout and actually how to improve the productivity of the company without sacrificing people. I'm not going to get these clients through the social media. They don't sit around. It's all about connections and networking. And how majority of the companies made their millions and multi-billions, it wasn't online, it was networking, it was connections. So if you feel too much triggered with social media, especially where all of us try to make the business, then don't be scared to do something different. You can always come back. There is no something that you can't reverse back. And if you feel that is going to be really supporting your nervous system and without triggering you, fuck it, just do it. Sometimes you just need to take that bold step forward and do something different that the mass is doing.
So liberating, even just hearing those words. And I'm sure you guys watching, you're like, maybe I can do this. And like Salvia said, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You know, you can still have your account, you can still show up, but it's just taking a bit more of a back seat and expanding your energy in other areas. And I think we've kind of almost forgotten that in-person stuff, right, is what really moves the needle. And that being said, Salvia, obviously you are going to be speaking at Real and Raw Live in London. I would love you to share with everyone watching your thoughts behind that, because obviously now listening to your talk and listening to the journey that you've been on with the online space, it makes complete sense. It's just like in the room, like absolutely, that's what I'm all about.
Exactly. And I feel this is when I saw you talking about, like, stage. And at that point, I thought, oh, I would like to go on the stage. But I know for many of the stages, you have to compete. And it's not like easy peasy lemon squeezy. Also, I'm not a professional speaker. I don't follow the scripts. I don't follow the performance of that speaker's world and everything. I don't desire to even be a professional speaker so much. So I have friends who do that. And I'm like, you go ahead. You have a good fun. Me, not. And then when I saw this easy opportunity for me to pop in, fuck yeah. And also another thing, I know that business can be challenging, but right now I'm taking as many easy options as I can, because we're so conditioned that everything needs to be hard. And not everything needs to be hard. It can be, you will have challenges, which is going to be hell hard. And then sometimes you can do something really easy because you're just like, I've been in the hell. Thank you very much. I'm done shit grinding. I want something a little bit easier. So this is how I go through my business. I sometimes will hustle and really grind when I need to. And sometimes I'm going to be in the season, I want only easy stuff. And the easy stuff comes to me. And I'm not against one or the other. I love mixing masculine and feminine. And I can't say I'm super duper balanced with it, but I have seasons of it, and I guess that's how I balance it.
I'm the same. I'm like, like hyper focused in any one season. But that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur, right? You get to build on your terms. All of these people out here saying has to be more masculine, has to be more feminine, has to be hard, has to be hustle, has to be slow, has to be easy. You get to decide what that looks like and what feels good for you, which is obviously what Salvia is talking about, feeling in your body. What is right for you? What is leaning into your next step? What is that looking like for you? Salvia, I want to ask you, obviously the talk that you shared was very different in such a beautiful, powerful way. And I love it. I'm like, yes, this is raw all over it. This is exactly the kind of talk that impacts everyone watching to really move and to really feel that I can do it. I can do it. It doesn't have to be overnight success. It doesn't have to be 100K month straight off the bat. I'm still working towards something that can grow. It doesn't mean it's a failure. What did it feel like to share in that way? And I know we've been on a little bit of a journey kind of behind the scenes with this as well, and you've been sharing a lot of other things as well. But how was the real and the raw revolution and being part of this movement, how has that impacted you in the way that you're showing up and the things that maybe you're sharing now that maybe once upon a time you wouldn't have?
Yeah, it's like definitely not a story that I would have shared probably a couple of years ago, because I think this is where there is a toxic side of social media where everybody is like, I made money, I made money, I made money. And you sit there, look at your bank account, and you're just like, wah, wah, I made nothing. What does that mean? So you instantly start measuring through the financial goal. But not many people understand that there is so much into celebration and success apart from financials, apart from sharing big things. It's just like it can be so many small things that builds up, like, you know, being invited to speak in a summit on the stage, client reaching out, somebody interested in your methodology. Because even when I made the body man method, I'm like, I don't really know if people are gonna get interested. It's so simple. And then people, can I have a session with you? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. So it's like, I don't really, at this point, I think when I came across to Real and Raw, I was ready to go raw because I usually go raw, but going live on social media raw is a bit next level. In person, people know I'm going to give it as it goes. But like online was still a little bit like, you know, when you turn on the camera and you're just like, oh my God, I'm a performing monkey. I need to perform now and not actually speak. Just speak whatever comes out. So I feel this came into a perfect time because I was just like, you know what? After sitting in the room where every woman was like, I made it. It was so easy. It was instant success. And I was like, well, it wasn't for me. Where is that fucking story? Why nobody's sharing? I know there are so many people who are going through the same thing, but just because we see just successful stories, it puts us into the shadow of like, I'm not worthy. And we know we fucking are. We just might going through different ways. We're building something different. I personally know that to build sustainable business, which brings massive profits later on without me being present, takes some time and work and strategy. And I'm cool with that now. Before that, I was chasing a cowboy show. Yeah, 50K a day. And I'm like, the rest of the year, zero. Great. I don't want
Yes.
that. Thank you.
Yes. Oh my God, Salvia, I love you so much. You are so incredible, so powerful. Everyone watching, I'm sure we're all like, okay, how do I get into your world? Can you share with everyone where they should come and what that might look like?
Yeah, so up until now, you still can come through social media. So my mains are Facebook and Instagram. So it's Salvija Raccione. You're going to find me by my name. If you would prefer, you can also reach out through my webpage, which is scoachingtherapy.com. I'm sure we're going to put links somewhere because, like, basically you're going to be like, what the hell you just said? That's usually me. And then LinkedIn. I'm also on LinkedIn. You can find by my first and last name. I will be on LinkedIn probably always because I love that platform. It's a bit more mature. But yeah, pick your way. Like, website is always going to be there. So that's your safest bet. I have a contact me form. So come in and we can have some good stuff.
I love it. I love it, Salvia. You are amazing. Thank you so much for being part of this incredible summit and for being part of the Real and the Raw family and the revolution and the change that we all stand for together. I love you so much. For you guys watching, make sure you head over, get into Salvia's world now. If you're driving, wait till you get home and then press those links. And
Okay.
we will see you for the next talk. Head right on over. It's all on demand, straight in your inbox. Go and get your next fill of the Real and the Raw energy right now. Remember, if you want to join the revolution yourself, phoenix-rise.co.uk, at Claire Garner Official on all of the pages, all of the links. Come and head in. Let us know how you're feeling, how the talks are landing with you, what aha moments you're getting, the inspiration, the empowerment, the takeaways. We want to hear it all because that's why we create summits. That's why the speakers are here. That's why I'm here. We want to help you step into your next level in the best way that feels good for you. So I will see you in the next talk. Until next time, I will see you all soon. Mwah. Bye for now.